Today, let's talk about a secret to finding peace. And believe it or not, it comes from one of the oldest professions in the world, the farmer. See, there's a divine strategy kind of hidden in plain sight, one that teaches this profound art of the patient wait. You know that feeling, right? We've all been there, pushing and pushing against a door that just will not open. The constant stress of trying to make something happen, trying to force a change. It feels like you're trying to force a harvest from this dry, cracked earth. But what if all that striving, all that effort, what if it isn't actually your job? This image right here, it holds the key. A wise farmer knows they can't make it rain. That's not in their power. Their job is to plant the seed, to prepare the soil. But after that, their whole role shifts to one of patient, hopeful waiting. And that simple, ancient wisdom, well, it contains a powerful secret for our own lives. So let's talk about this feeling of striving. What is it actually doing to us? What's the real cost, spiritually and emotionally, when we try to force that harvest on our own schedule? Well, they call these periods a dry season. But it's not just a time where nothing's happening. Think of it more like a test, a distraction that's designed specifically to make you frustrated, to fuel your impatience, and ultimately to steal your peace. And when we get caught up in that distraction, we start to believe it's all up to us. We feel like we're the one who has to bring the reins. And that is such a heavy burden. It creates this false sense of urgency, this crushing pressure, and a deep spiritual drain. And here it is. The two paths laid out plain and simple. On the left, you've got the result of all that striving, a cycle of pressure and frustration that just wears you down. But over on the right, there's a completely different way. It's not about doing nothing. It's a posture of resting that creates peace, patience, and this incredible sense of spiritual liberation. Okay, so this is the turning point. If striving doesn't work, then what does? It really requires a completely new strategy, a divine one, that's all about shifting our perspective. Here is the most crucial reminder, and I want you to just let this one sink in for a second. Making everything work out, opening the doors, changing people's hearts, forcing the outcome, that is simply not your job. True freedom begins the very moment you release that responsibility. So, this redefines our role entirely, doesn't it? Our job is actually pretty simple. Show up, be our best, and tend to our part of the soil. God's job? To bring the rains, to handle the timing, the connections, the breakthroughs. It's like a divine division of labor. Now, this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? How do we practice this sacred art of resting, especially when every fiber of our being is wired to just push and strive and make things happen? All right, so let's walk through this process. It starts with a conscious choice, literally giving yourself permission to rest. Then you have to actively fight back, saying no to that false sense of urgency, and reminding yourself of your true job description. You start to see those dry seasons not as failures, but just as distractions. And that lets you trust the delay, believing it actually has a purpose. And finally, and this is the beautiful part, you learn to wait not with anxiety, but with this hopeful, powerful expectancy. And when you start to live this way, you're doing so much more than just shedding stress. You are literally making room for a harvest that is far, far greater than anything you could have ever forced on your own. The benefits are truly profound. You feel that weight of bringing the rain just lift off your shoulders. Your inner peace becomes this protected, sacred space. Your trust in the divine timing of the seasons just gets deeper. And you start to see how your little plot of land is actually part of a much, much greater harvest. This right here, this offers one of the most powerful mindset shifts imaginable. See, a delay isn't a denial. A longer wait isn't a failure. It is so often a sign that the harvest being prepared for you is simply bigger and better than the one you had in mind. And this is the ultimate promise. This puts you in a position of incredible spiritual strength. Because when you rest in divine timing, you can be absolutely confident that when your harvest is finally ready, there is nothing on earth that can stop it from coming to you. So I'll leave you with this to reflect on. In that quiet space of waiting, as you learn to let go of all the striving, what incredible harvest might be growing just beneath the surface of your life, getting ready for its perfect season. In closing, if you like this, like and share this link, and you can explore more just like it at www.youtube.com/@dailywisdom-y2r.